I'm delighted to welcome James Glattfelder, whose work bridges physics, philosophy, and complexity science. He will share insights from his latest book, The Sapient Cosmos, which invites a holistic understanding of reality that unites scientific inquiry and spiritual perspectives on meaning, awareness, and human interconnectedness. Thank you and welcome, James.
Hello, everyone. It's probably important to not forget that we're always locked in consciousness. I mean, everything we know, everything we experience, all is mediated through consciousness. And this has a consequence that there's actually no certainty. I mean, am I dreaming right now? Is this a simulation? Or is my brain just in a vat being kept alive and fed with fakes, chemical or electrical signals, which would result in the same experience of a reality I see now? So yeah, having laid out this level of uncertainty, what do we know about consciousness? Well, unfortunately, not really much. Still today, there's no universally accepted definition of what consciousness is. So the best we have goes back to an essay a philosopher of mind wrote in 1974, which was called "What is it like to be a bat?" So consciousness is if it feels like to be something. So yes, not a very good definition. And since 1994, we have the hard problem of consciousness. This is the question of how and why non-conscious stuff comes together and produces conscious stuff. Or more precisely, how does this window, this perspective we have into reality emerge from matter that is non-conscious? And today we have about 200 theories of consciousness. It's as if every scholar working with consciousness has their own pet theory. So wouldn't we expect science to tell us what consciousness is and how it works? Well, not really, because science is the how stuff works. It doesn't tell us what it is. So at best, science can tell us how the brain processes information, but it can't really tell us how these experiences emerge, the greenness of green, love, pain. So science has a hard time with the hard problem. And although science is super successful in decoding the reality around us, there's a long list of existential enigmas which scientists usually don't publicize too much. We still don't know what time is. We don't even know what subatomic particles are. We describe them mathematically as excitations in a quantum field, but what does that mean? What is this all about? Because we know that the quantum realm is really weird. It's illogical. It's incoherent. It just makes no sense. And this is supposed to be the foundation of reality. And of all the stuff in the universe, we don't know what 95% of it is. We just see indirect effects of it. And yes, this list goes on and on and on. So to progress and understand the essence of consciousness better, we need to move to philosophy, specifically metaphysics. So metaphysics begins where physics ends. That is to say, metaphysics cannot be proven or disproven. And the most popular metaphysical assumption is physicalism. So we live in this material universe, and you can understand complex stuff by reducing it to simpler stuff. This is the default position of most scientists. But it's really important to note that this is a belief. Nothing in science dictates that we need to adopt physicalism. And there's many other metaphysical ideas that we could investigate. For instance, it's interesting that recently we've been seeing the renaissance of idealism. This age-old idea that consciousness is the foundation of reality. So idealism is it's kind of a hard concept because it's really hard to understand rationally. What does this mean, sort of a universal field of consciousness? And what does it mean that sort of the physical is emergent or secondary, and it's kind of more of a projection, and underneath the seemingly physical, we have this universal field of cosmic consciousness. But I believe that it's probably easier to experience this what it means to live in a universe that is idealist. And since the dawning of the human mind, many people have been telling us, indeed, what this means. And these are the shamans, the mystics, the meditators, and the psychonauts. So what we're seeing here is a bit of a clash between rational knowledge and experiential knowledge. And until not too long ago, the Western mind would have insisted and said that only rational knowledge counts. So to summarize, we seem to be living in a transcendental multiverse of pure experience, which can be explored by anyone who's brave enough to go beyond the constraints of consensus reality. So by tweaking our consciousness through meditation, through trance, through psychedelics, or even through pain, our consciousness can travel and experience these non-physical planes of reality. So yeah, suddenly consciousness is rediscovered at the center of existence, and reality seems to be far richer than we ever expected. So yeah, let's re-enchant the universe and find meaning in this new context. Thank you.